The program was created to help address the needs of ailing Americans, both young and old, because alternatives can be impossibly costly to American families, and Medicaid is only accessible after they have exhausted all of their savings. Do you agree that the Class Act was intended to help fill a need in affordable options for long-term care for working Americans? Yes or no?
Yes, sir, definitely.
Now, Madam Secretary, when you testified before this committee, you'll recall I asked you whether you had all the authority you needed in the department to ensure the program gets off to the start in an actuarially sound manner. At the time, you answered you did. However, the report issued on October 14 tends to indicate a program that will meet the solvency test. I would like to ask you again, then, whether you have the authority you need in the department to implement the Class Act so that it is actuarially sound and provides an affordable, long-term care to working Americans. Yes or no?
Mr. Dingell, may I respond other than yes or no so that I'm
all right, if you please, quickly.
My statement was correct at the time I made them in March, that we were very optimistic about the types of flexibilities or the discretion that the Secretary might have.
I'm not
As we did
down,
further
I just want
analysis,
the
we
answer.
found that that was not the case.
Right.
We do not have the authority we need at this point.
All right, then, if you would please tell us what additional authority do you need to implement the Class Act in a fashion that results in an actuarial sound plan?
Sir, I would need to refer you back to the reports to look specifically at the type of actuarial modeling we were looking at, as well as the legally continue to model the program.
All right. I would ask you, along with my friends, Mr. Pallone, and others, that you submit to me a list of the authorities that the department needs to properly implement this plan.
We do not currently have a list. I will take your request back so that we can be responsive.
Okay.
But I don't have a list.
Madam Secretary, in your memorandum on the class program to Secretary Sebelius stated, quote, "You do not see a path to move forward with class at this time," close quote. Until a list of needed authority is provided to this committee, will you commit to working with consumers to continuing to work to find options for affordable long-term care options for Americans? Yes or no?
Yes, we're committed to working with you.
Now, Mr. Chairman, I want to make a couple of observations here. I've heard my Republican committee on the floor and in speeches in and outside the Congress tell everybody what an evil thing the Health Insurance Bill, Affordable Care Act is. And I, quite frankly, don't agree. But I'm curious. What is it that our Republican colleagues suggest to us we ought to do? What should we do, my dear friends, about the Class Act so that we provide long-term care programs for Americans who desperately need it, so that they won't be destituted and so that they can have an actuarially sound program which will enable them to have a program of long-term care to take care of themselves and their family? What is it my Republican colleagues want to do to see to it that we get ourselves a program which addresses problems like pre-existing conditions and all the other things that they have been introducing legislation to repeal, to strip the American public of the rights and opportunities we have given them in a piece of enormous vigor, and which they continue to oppose, without any particular apparent care other than that we continue the reliance on the same unworkable situation that we have.
Will the distinguished gentleman yield?
I will be happy to yield if I have time, but I want to make this observation. We have a serious problem that the American people confront. All we hear from my Republican colleagues is no, 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 no. They sound like Gromyko with his behavior.
Mr. Chairman,
to win.
the
I'll yield if I
gentleman